Hello everyone, welcome back to your channel. We are back with a new update, and to keep yourself updated with latest immigration news, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon. The Alberta Opportunity Stream of Alberta Provincial Nominee Program, PNP, is for temporary foreign workers already working full-time in Alberta. Alberta renamed its PNP to AAIP, Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, in February 2022. Previously, AAIP was called Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program, AINP. Overall, AAIP has issued a total of 2,245 nominations out of the 5,393 nominations allocated for 2024. As per the most recent AAIP update, Alberta Opportunity Stream will open its application intake on June 11 with a goal of accepting 430 applications. The stream will close for new applications once 430 applications are received until its next scheduled intake date of July 9 to accept 444 applications. Currently, AAIP is assessing applications received before October 26, 2023, and there are 3,659 applications under processing. Alberta Opportunity Stream eligibility and how to apply. Language requirements. Occupation requirements. Eligible occupations. Post-graduation work permit holders. Ineligible occupations. Work permit and residency requirements. Ineligible applicants. Education requirements. Eligible work experience. How to apply for Alberta Opportunity Stream. Language requirements. When you submit your application, you must demonstrate that you have passed the following language tests in English or French. You must get the required points based on a single test result. National Occupational Classification, NOC, skill level. Canadian Language Benchmark, CLB, test score required. Niveau de compétence linguistique canadiens, NCLC, test score required. If you are working in a TER 0, 1, 2, or 3, NOC 0, A, or B, occupation. Minimum of 5 for each English language skill. Minimum of 5 for each French language skill. If you are working in a TER 4 or 5, NOC C or D, occupation. Minimum of 4 for each English language skill. Minimum of 4 for each French language skill. When your application is filed, the official test results must be no more than 2 years old. The date you took the exam, not the date your test results were issued, is used to establish the age of your test findings. The AAIP will not accept enrollment confirmation for a language exam instead of a test result. Occupation requirements. Eligible occupations. When you file your application, you must work in a qualifying occupation in Alberta at the time of your application evaluation. The occupation requirements apply to your work experience and a job offer. In addition, most occupations in National Occupational Classification, NOC, TER 0, 1, 2, or 3, 4, and 5 are eligible. Post-graduation work permit holders. If you have a post-graduation work permit, PGWP, your occupation in Alberta must also be connected to your field of study. Suppose you began your Alberta Credential Program on or after April 1, 2019, and completed an advanced education-approved 1-year post-diploma or post-baccalaureate certificate. In that case, your occupation must also be related to your previous post-secondary field of study outside of Canada. Ineligible occupations. Individuals employed in the occupations listed below at the time of submission and evaluation are ineligible to apply for or be nominated under the Alberta Opportunity Stream. NOC Code, 2021. NOC TER Category. Occupation. 000100. Legislators. 400210. School principals and administrators of elementary and secondary education. 400300. Managers in social, community, and correctional services. 400410. Fire chiefs and senior firefighting officers. 60040 star. 0. Escort agency managers, massage parlor managers. 411001. Judges. 412201. Secondary school teachers. 412211. Elementary school and kindergarten teachers. 511111. Authors and writers, except technical. 511221. Musicians and singers. 42200 star. 2. Justices of the Peace. 42202 star. 2. Early childhood educators who do not have certification through Alberta Children's Services Child Care Staff Certification Office, or who have been certified as Level 1 Early Childhood Educator, formerly Child Development Assistant. 43100 3. Elementary and secondary school teacher assistants. 43109 3. Other instructors. 53121 3. Actors, comedians, and circus performers. 53122 3. Painters, sculptors, and other visual artists. 53124 3. Artisans and craftspersons. 53200 3. Athletes. 63101 3. Real estate agents and salespersons. 33100 star. 3. Dental laboratory assistants and bench workers. 44100 4. Home child care providers. 44101 4. Home support workers, caregivers, and related occupations. 64321 4. Casino occupations. 55109 5. Other performers. 65109 5. Other sales-related occupations. 65211 5. Operators and attendants in amusement, recreation, and sport. 65229 5. Other support occupations in personal services. 65329 5. Other service support occupations. 75200 5. Taxi and limousine drivers and chauffeurs. 85101 5. Harvesting laborers. 85102 5. Aquaculture and marine harvest laborers. 85104 5. Trappers and hunters. 85110 5. Mine laborers. 85121 5. Landscaping and grounds maintenance laborers. Work permit and residency requirements. When you submit your application and the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program (AAIP) evaluates it, you must have a valid temporary resident status in Canada that allows you to work, i.e. a temporary foreign worker permit. For work permits to be valid, they should meet one of the following criteria. Have a positive labor market impact assessment (LMIA), or an LMIA exemption for workers based on the following. International trade agreements. Workers transferred within a company. International Experience Canada, Mobilite Francophone. Have an IRCC-issued open work permit. To vulnerable workers who demonstrate they are at risk of abuse or experiencing abuse in the content of their employment in Canada. It includes exemption under the Vulnerable Workers Open Work Permit, VOWP. Family members of a vulnerable worker who qualifies for the VOWP exemption. A post-graduation work permit, PGWP, issued to a graduate of Alberta Advanced Education, a publicly funded post-secondary institution. PGWP holders must also fulfill the requirements of their occupation, education, and work experience. An open work permit was granted following one of the IRCC's open work permit public policies. The permit must be held by an Alberta Advanced Education graduate who is a publicly funded post-secondary institution graduate. Following the temporary policy changes to the Post-Graduation Work Permit Program, PGWPP. Other open work permit requirements. Open work permit issued under the public policy for Hong Kong recent graduates, or under the IRCC's Ukraine immigration measures. Regarding requirements, candidates must have a positive labor market impact assessment, LMIA, or one of the accepted LMIA exemption work permits. Candidates must also fulfill additional minimum eligibility requirements for residency and work permit type, occupation, language, education, Alberta job offer, and work experience. Ineligible applicants. The following individuals are not eligible to apply for or be nominated for the Alberta Opportunity Stream. Individuals involved in a federal appeal or removal procedure. The AAIP does not intervene in federal refugee claims, appeals, or removal proceedings. Temporary residents of Canada living or working in a province or territory other than Alberta, or foreign nationals who live or work in Canada but do not have legal temporary residence status. If you apply to the AAIP under NOC Code 33102, nurse aides, orderlies, and patient service associates, you must have a CLB of 7 for each English language skill or an NCLC of 7 for each French language skill. Education requirements. Except for post-graduation work permit holders, all candidates must have completed a minimum of high school education equal to Canadian standards when filing your application on January 1, 2021. The applicant must provide a copy of an Educational Credential Assessment, ECA, issued by an IRCC-approved organization for their highest level of education. You do not fulfill the education criterion if your ECA report reveals that your certificate is not equivalent to the completion of a Canadian high school or if the foreign educational institution is not recognized. An ECA is not required if you have a valid Alberta qualification certificate, a trade certificate recognized by Alberta Apprenticeship and Industry Training, or a Canadian degree, diploma, or certificate from a recognized Canadian post-secondary, technical college, or secondary school, AIT. Candidates who applied before January 1, 2021, had to have completed high school education in their country of origin. These candidates did not need an ECA. Eligible work experience. When you submit your application, you must have either 12 months of full-time job experience in your present occupation in Alberta during the previous 18 months, or a minimum of 24 months of full-time work experience in your current occupation in Canada or overseas during the previous 30 months, or both. This work experience can be a combination of experience earned in Alberta, in Canada, outside of Alberta, or abroad. Post-graduation work permit holders must have a minimum of 6 months of full-time work experience in their current occupation in Alberta within the past 18 months. Work experience in the qualifying period is required for all candidates, including those with a post-graduation work permit, PGWP. Full-time work experience for a minimum of 30 hours a week. Work experience in the same occupation as your current occupation. I had a valid temporary resident status and an IRCC-authorized work permit while working in Alberta or Canada. Work experience gained while studying does not count unless you were on a PGWP and completed a paid co-op work term as a part of your program of study at an Alberta post-secondary institution. The work term must have been minimum of 30 hours per week, paid and full-time. Work experience directly relates to your current occupation and all work experience was gained in Alberta. All applicants, including PGWP holders, must complete the following license, registration, and certification requirements at the time your application is filed and the AAIP evaluates it. To work in your present occupation in Alberta, you must have the necessary licensure, registration, or certification. You must hold a valid Alberta Apprenticeship and Industry Trade, AIT, approved trade certificate if you work in a required trade in Alberta. If you work as a childcare worker, you must be certified as a Level 2 Early Childhood Educator, previously Child Development Worker, or Level 3 Early Childhood Educator, formerly Child Development Supervisor. How to apply for Alberta Opportunity Stream. If you meet the above-listed eligibility criteria, then you can apply online via Alberta Advantage Immigration Portal on your own or with the help of an authorized representative. All applicants, including PGWP holders, must complete the following license, registration, and certification requirements at the time your application is filed and the AAIP evaluates it. To work in your present occupation in Alberta, you must have the necessary licensure, registration, or certification. Thanks for watching our video. Please hit the bell icon and subscribe the channel. Thank you.